Hi folks, a beautiful day in London in the southeast. Time to do another painting before I make with a barbecue. As soon as the weather's half decent, I'm out there. Roast chicken, greens, mashed potato, gravy, all on the barbecue. Well, and a burner. Somebody gave me a gas burner last year. I used to have one, and it was quite an expensive one, but we didn't stop using it in favour of charcoal, which doesn't really agree with me anymore, though I will use it now and again. I've still got charcoal from 18 months ago that I haven't used, but I've got the gas barbecue, and it's got a gas ring on the side, and it's a little bit susceptible to the wind. But I've got 2 or 3 of the single burners, gas burners. It comes with you buy the cheap cylinders. Well, they're not that cheap, are they? Cylinders, and that sort of gives a good balance of this self-isolating. I just wonder, for most countries, that the cure turns out to be far worse than the disease. With thousands of businesses shut, is it worth it? I've got a very close family member who had pneumonia 3 years ago and was in a very serious state, so she's vulnerable. A lot of us with underlying health problems. I'm mild COPD. Other people have got heart problems. It's all very depressing. You know, I watch a lot of the blogs on YouTube, and you never know really who to believe. Probably the best thing is just not to watch any of them. You won't get depressed about politics. Because in the UK we've got this the Brexit being talked about. I've got a bit of a lake there, sort of a meadow. Let's not go too low with that. Could put a bit of a barn in here. Just something a little bit different. Got the horizon more or less halfway, which is not a good idea. But anyway, I've still got the paints from yesterday. I did 2 yesterday. I was going to do 3. I've prepared 5 boards over 2 days. They're only small. They're MDF, 2mm MDF, 8 inches by 10 inches, primed with PVA glue. But before I prime them, I rub them down with a very coarse paper. I'll show you, in case there's any confusion and you ask me questions which I've already answered. It's this belt sanding paper, the very rough stuff. You can buy this in metre rolls. It's very handy. And it's very good, but so then I get the dust off with a vacuum cleaner, and then prime them with a bit of PVA glue. I showed you the PVA glue. I showed it to you yesterday, but for those that haven't watched that one, PVA. It's acrylic. It's builders woodworking, high bond strength, improved plaster, concrete, cement mixes, and it's wonderful for using as a varnish. Just dilute it with a bit of water for acrylic paintings, and that's what I use. And it's got this lovely top here that you unscrew and it pulls down a little tiny nozzle inside the nozzle, and it keeps it airtight. Super stuff. Quite cheap, £5. I could have bought it cheap locally, but I didn't want to go out for it. And with postage, it was just over £5, and I'm quite happy to pay that. Now, the problem with that is that we've got the big tree here, but we want to block here with a bigger wedge of trees, I think. This little building I'll probably do with a brush. It's just a cowshed or just a farm building. Here we are. So we've got cadmium yellow, pale yellow ochre, white. No, I mean more than that. Ultramarine. I have got red ochre there, but I've squeezed out some light red just by, you can see the contrast. The light red is slightly lighter than the red ochre, but it's great stuff. If you haven't got red ochre, light red it's fine. You can always use burnt sienna too, but only a particular burnt sienna that's very similar to a dark red, which is a Winsor & Newton version. Not acrylic, it doesn't work in acrylic, but the Winsor & Newton burnt sienna is a superb colour. Got some here, I think, burnt sienna, so no, the top's welded on there. Let's have a look. I'm not going to use it, but just find my pliers and there we are. If I can get the lid off without smashing it. Yeah, okay. Right, now you can see that it's dark, it's a dark, very dark red. A beautiful colour mixed with ultramarine blue, gives a wonderful rich dark. I add a bit of cad yellow with it and you've got a superb range of greens. I put a bit of green out here, I've got some sap green, I probably won't use it, but I might, it might be a shortcut to give variety to those, the colours I'm going to put in here. Now I've got some yellow ochre left, but not a lot. I meant to buy some, order some. Got just about enough. I like burnt sienna. Okay, well let's get cracking. I would get a sky in first. I use my favourite knives. I've got two of these. One has got a bit of a kink in it. I've misused it over the years, but super knife. And here's the other one. It's not quite as flexible because it hasn't been used as much. Plenty of paper. Look, there's my roll of paper. A great big roll. Sort of an industrial one. I'll just removing something. Okay, let's get have some nice bit of blue because it's blue outside. And this MDF is so useful, it makes a great palette, sort of temporary palette. I need much more white out here, I think. You can knock up all your colours to start with, get them all blended. But I can sort of approximate them again. I can mix up the similar pigment if I go short, and I'm forever doing it. And you get used to it. So a bit of lighter blue. Okay, something like that. We'll have a bit of white blue cloud. I don't want too much detail in the sky because there's a lot of detail in the landscape. So sort of the white is slightly blue now. And when you're going over your tree, or where you're going to put trees, just keep the paint thin. Otherwise it'll blend too much. Just a bit of blending around the edges. I'm just listening to the radio. The other saying, well, people are drinking more because they can't go out. I think that's true. Right, no, we're just... So there's a reasonable sky. I'll just put in some neat white. I'm going to put a pond here. Okay, that's not bad. You need loads of paper for this. Oh, I've got to bring that white down, or that white blue down into here, haven't I? Just that'll be done there. Right, I'm going to put in some whitey blue. Let's get some more white. If you want to contribute to the expense of all these paints that I have to buy for these videos, you can always go on Patreon for a month or two. It's very cheap. But it does, every little helps. There's always buying paints and brushes, or mostly paints, and accessories. These great big tubes of colour, 200ml, that's the way to buy them. If you like knife painting, or any painting, they last forever. And the more you buy it, the cheaper it is. Right, I'm just going to just get this slightly off blue. I've been out for my bike ride this morning around the neighbourhood, just about 3 miles, I suppose, 2-3 miles. That's enough. Don't push my luck. I'm not invulnerable, that's like Superman. I did say earlier that the sanding with the primer tends to raise the surface and give a nice tooth. Not a big tooth, it's lovely. You can hear it. So it grips the paint, provided you don't go on too thick to start with. Right, now we're going to put in these greens. So let's see a bit of red, lump of yellow. See how strong that light red is? With dark green now in the shadow. I'm very sort of restricted with the size of this palette, but it's done so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Got a bit of Payne's grey in there. A bit darker than that. Put some in here now. Now we'll assume that the sun is overhead, so you won't get much of a cast shadow. Oh, that's quite a nice tree. I think you know by now that I just love knife painting. It's fun, it's like modelling, and you get so absorbed you forget to drink your tea. Right, now we'll get some stuff over there, and then we'll put in that house, and we'll fiddle around it. The red roof, of course, because it'll change with all the reds. I mean, all the greens. So I haven't used that sap green, but I've used the light red, the Payne's grey, and the cadmium yellow pale. It's a super colour. That's quite exciting for me, that is. Right, so let's go again. Good bit of that. I want this to go higher. Some bit of red in there. Now this is hard because I'm painting left-handed when I'm right-handed. Maybe I should have put that side in first. Right, I need a bit of lighter colour in here. Bit of blue in there, I think. Right, right now that's a bit. I've gone too solid here, so let's just put some of that air back in there. Just take some of that out, I think. Now I've still got a stain of that green in that here. It's got a bit messy now, isn't it? I'll just see if I can just take some of that out. It was a rotten shape to start with. Oh, that's a bit better. Let's get some. Right, let's get this down here. We'll get that building in now. I want that tree, the bushes, to come down into the field. So I've got my little brush here. And I use this for doing my botany cottages, and it really helped. And I washed it out with dishwasher liquid, and it's lovely and soft and clean. So let's get a nice red. This red, I believe, was developed to replicate the Venetian roof tiles, but I never got that, so I spent a year painting Venice, doing Impressionist Venice, and I can't say it really helped. Right, let's get now, we'll get a sort of a grey shadow on here. No, I wanted white, but with a bit of Payne's grey. Right, now we want some nice bit of green in here. Okay, we'll let that go. Right, okay, so that's the only bit of brushwork brushwork we'll have. So let's get some nice warm colours in here. Go up here. Still there, I think. This is where yellow ochre comes into its own in these fields. I've got to do a lot of work in that yet, so I'll get some nice Bit of white in there. Bit of shadowy colours. Vary the colours. We're trying to create an illusion of a lot of detail as simply as we can. The brain sort of interprets the gaps and adds its own interpretation to it. Oh, let's have some of this greeny colour in it. I might put some trunks and stuff in there, but I want real good dark shadows. So good colour, ultramarine, Payne's grey. You can have a bit of that palette green. Although midday, the shadows, there's no shadows. Right, how long have we doing? 32, halfway through the time allowed for this, because as you know, at about an hour the video stops and starts another one. It continues, but when you put it on YouTube or put it on your laptop, computer, it ends up as two videos and you've got to edit it, and I don't want to waste my time doing that. Coming into the light here. Let's have a bit of grey. I'm not trying to do a knife painting with your knives. It's the slabbiness of it that can be very attractive. Put in there that pond, so we want a bit of shadow around that. Then we can counter change. Oh, it gets a nice light green. And we want the darker green under here, because we're in, well, I'm going to say the shadow, but I said we're not going to have shadows. But we'll put a little bit in. Well, bit by bit we've got a picture coming. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I won't put a chimney stack on because it's a barn. It'll be too difficult, for me anyway. Right, now let's get these greens. Put a bit of shadow, a bit of reflection in it. We're going, I should use some of that sap green now. Oh, let's put in some okay. Now we're going to make something of this here. Bit of Payne's grey, bit of sap green. We're trying to put it all together. When you put lights on, you've got to put darks in. Right, let's just clear that off. Another bit of paper. I want to just refine that pond a little bit. Bit of shadow in there. Right, well I don't think I can. Lost my brush. Oh, there it is. I don't think I'm going to use it again. Everything's got to be done with a knife now. Right, and a bit of yellow ochre. We don't want it to be white. Well, not too white anyway. Well, we do actually. Just get a little bit on the edge of your knife. I believe is my fire alarm. I'm going to reset it. Oh, that's not good, is it? Okay, well I think that's about it. I will put that in a frame. I'll do some frame. I'll just get it really ready because I've got 4 of those paintings on my table here. Right, okay. My frame's getting really dirty now. It started off dark brown, I think it was plastic, and it's had so many coats of paint on it, and it's white at the moment, but I think it's going to need another coat of white. Isn't the pictures look good in the white? That's where my fingers get all messed up. We've got a very good fire brigade around here. For us oldies, they come and change if the fire alarms. We've got 3, one on each floor, and if they start bleeping and they don't stop bleeping, it's a bit of a nuisance, then they can come and change them. And a great big fire engine turns up outside, and about 2 or 3 burly firemen. Probably relieves the monotony. Right, just a couple of pins, just to hold it, not to don't bang them in hard because you've got to take them out for the next painting. Okay, so we have another one. Let's just move my temporary palette. Back to watercolours tomorrow, I think. Well, there we are. Let's just bring it back a bit. There we are. Oops. Now, how I do this, like these paintings, over there a little bit. It's getting annoying, that is. Oh, well, there we are. I've got my board up against the lid of my box easel, and I've got another table or piece of plywood balanced on top of the tray that is fully pulled out. It's good. It means I can go from oil to watercolour quite easily. Now, I hope you like that one. Thanks for looking. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. And if you haven't got a garden, well, we've got a bike, and or go for a walk. We're allowed to do that. Unless too many people transgress and take advantage, then they might stop it. But at the moment, we can get out on our bikes or on foot or jog, provided we keep away from people. Right, I'll see you soon, folks. Bye bye.